Year after year, the audience watched and saw Robin become the favorite wife, while Meri and Janelle got stuck with the financial, emotional, and yes, physical fallout. What everyone didn't know, though, was that behind closed doors those ladies were quietly creating something far stronger than sympathy in the eyes of the world. No tantrum screaming. No Twitter wars. Just cold facts. Brick by brick, piece by piece, they constructed a case that would ultimately redefine everything. And when the verdict of the court finally came, it was devastating, but not for all. That is where the tide started to shift. Robin's position as Cody's favorite did not form itself overnight. It was creeping, unconscious, and nearly invisible until it occurred. Tension when Sister Wives first aired, yes, but unity also, a dysfunctional, messy form of love that worked anyway. But when Robin arrived on the scene, all of that changed. Meri, Janelle, and Christine gradually faded away from Cody's emotional sphere until Robin was alone in the middle. The one who got him. But favoritism wasn't all about love, it appeared in the bank statement, too. Audience members couldn't help but catch on, whereas other wives inhabited modest homes and even boasted about having financial problems. Robin resided in a luxurious Flagstaff mansion, alone and extravagant. And then there were the revelations. Property records suggested hidden transferring of assets, emergency moves, odd timing, and filings that appeared to set high properties far out of reach just as divorces were impending. The coup de grace wasn't a shouting match in front of the camera or a TV soap moment. It was paperwork. Cold, unassailable records, deeds, transfer documents, emails. When Meri and Janelle finally got to see how much had silently vanished amidst all the craziness of those free-spirited years, they didn't start filming. They started placing calls to lawyers. While Robin opened her heart on television and Cody double-teamed commitment, the two women quietly built in the background evidence. Paper trails of money that didn't need the praise of an edited reality show or the rumor of the internet. One by one, they were making arrangements for a relocation Robin wasn't privy to. It wasn't Meri or Janelle who made the first overt move, at least, not at first. But after over a decade of having been made to feel disposable, they had no desire on remaining silent anymore. The dynamics were already changing. The courthouse was not wired for cameras, but it didn't need to be. The mood did all the work. The moment the verdict was announced, the air in the room tore right open. Reporters stood stock still. Lawyers stopped typing. Even out in the hallways, witnesses swore they could hear it, a piercing, collective gasp. Robin's hands were clenched so tightly around her attorney's arm that her knuckles were white. She stood there motionless when the clerk had proclaimed Meri and Janelle had won the judgment legally. Robin's shoulders then slumped, her face went white, and all hope she'd been hanging on to was gone. Cody also just stood there, glassy-eyed and empty. This was the same individual who years ago had justified those dubious asset transfers on national television, telling us each step was done to protect the family. The judge didn't see it that way. Fraud. That one word turned it all around. It wasn't simply that the transfers were inadvertent, it was that the court thought they were done willfully. That Cody and Robin had transferred the $1 million Flagstaff house and the other jointly owned properties, simply to eliminate Meri and Janelle from their share of it in the event of separating the marriage. The verdict allowed for no spin. The cash had to be sold. The house was sold. The profit shared, simple as that. No loopholes. No family tradition loopholes. No hiding behind vagueness. The paper trail was impenetrable. Game over. Outside the courthouse, Robin would not comment to reporters. Honestly, she couldn't. Weeks later, she and Cody were seen outside the Flagstaff mansion as a moving truck rumbled through the driveway. Robin's hair was pulled back into a loose, sloppy bun. She was dressed in loose, baggy clothes that engulfed her frame hole. Between wiping away tears with the sleeve of a tattered hoodie, she kindly gave directions to the movers. Cody lagged behind, white, wet, and stiff. He looked like a man who'd watched his kingdom disintegrate in slow motion. He had. The house was just the first domino. That court ruling didn't merely take away their most valued asset, it tore the floor out from under the financial kingdom Cody and Robin had taken decades to build. 2 weeks later, the photo appeared in neighborhood gossip and rumor sites like wildfire. Robin, standing in her driveway next to her decrepit showcase house, red-rimmed eyes, tears streaming down her cheeks. Swaying stacks of boxes, each marked kids' rooms, kitchen, and one with an ominous note of legal, do not lose stacked up behind her. A handful of neighbors lingered about, complaining loudly enough to be picked up by the microphones. One standout, she always talked like she was better than everyone, not so much better anymore. Public sympathy? Forget about it. Cody appeared worse. Gone was the smug man who would saunter onto TLC Productions as if he owned the establishment. Instead, he lurked outside the moving vans, kicking rocks, muttering curses. Gaunt. Perspiring. Anxious. Like an animal caught with no place to go. With their principal source of income closed down, their principal means of generating revenue lost, and their personal lives disintegrated for all to see, Cody didn't even have the decency to keep his act together. But Robin? Robin had no intention of being defeated. Because sooner rather than later, she reappeared. When Robin reappeared, it was not in humility, it was with what many people promptly called a pity play. An exclusive interview was done on a mid-tiered gossip site where Robin acted as the victim. Meri and Janelle had been scheming against her for years, she claimed. But there was a catch, she had nothing to back it up. Just general accusations, tearful sound bites, and a note of self-pity. The viewers weren't fooled. And then came the punchline. Meri streamed on Instagram, hair flawless, blazer fierce, serene but unyielding. Thousands were watching within seconds. She did not scream. She did not cry. She simply scrolled down her phone, smirked, and pulled out receipts. Actual legal papers linking Robin to the property exchanges. Evidence that she bullied Cody into having properties transferred in haste. Evidence that she was fully aware of what she was doing. And then, the messages. Robin urging Cody to make the moves before the others catch on. One voice, one document, total annihilation. Public perception changed in a heartbeat. TikTok's roasting Robin spread like wildfire across the site. Memes overwhelmed the web, her tear-soaked face under title cards such as Queen of Nothing. Sponsors slipped away quietly. TLC promo tweets started to leave her out altogether. Online, there was only one story now. Meri and Janelle fought for their own. Robin was caught cheating. And she lost everything. Behind the scenes, it was worse. Robin and Cody were summoned to a small, unfriendly conference room within the Flagstaff production office by TLC. No hello, no fake smiles, just a cold slap in the face. Robin, they informed her, was the least popular cast member on the show. Her presence caused ratings to decline. Peaks of interest were recorded when she was away. Advertisers were monitoring the situation, and TLC was willing to let her go. And then the thrust of the knife. Cody was presented with a new contract, but with one condition: he would keep filming without Robin. He'd instead seek a redemption arc, revising relationships with Meri, Janelle, and even Christine. The name of Robin was never mentioned in the contract. At their apartment, tension hung in the air. Robin pleaded with him not to sign, tears streaming down her face. This was the same guy who had promised she was his safe space. And here he was sitting in front of her, scorching the contract with his eyes for hours. Finally, Robin struggled to sob. So I was only part of the story? That's all? Cody said nothing. He merely took the pen and signed. The roar that came out of Robin wasn't for TV, it was visceral, animal. She collapsed in on herself as if slapped. Because this was not business betrayal. This was personal. And then, just when she figured she had no place to go, there was a ring on the phone. Christine. The same woman who had already painted Robin as manipulative was on the phone now with an offer Robin did not see coming: a truce. Not an apology. Strategy. Christine gave Robin evidence she never anticipated: personal diaries, unlogged production tape, internal messages. Evidence of Cody trash-talking his own children off camera, mocking producers, playing games with contracts to push others out. Christine had collected everything for years. She was simply waiting for the perfect time. And then Robin, in her moment of desperation, was the opportune time. The leaks became trending topics across the internet. Footage of Cody bullying his kids. Clips of him screaming at the crew. Tales of how had attempted to keep family members off show contracts. Social media blew up. Hashtags such as #CodyExposed trended across social media for days on end. Robin didn't have to utter a word. The internet was making the commentary. Cody's public image was already on the rocks. This time, it did not endure. TLC saw the upheaval and, in typical TLC style, figured they'd turn it into an event. The network granted a one-time special unlike any seen before by the Brown family. They dubbed it the Brown Family Truth Summit. No editing wizardry. No scripted narrative. No, just unvarnished, raw drama under harsh studio lights. 5 chairs. Meri, Janelle, Christine, Robin, Cody. All straightened, all looking at each other. From the start, you could sense the chill in the room lift. Tight smiles. Tight shoulders. Even the host appeared rattled. Meri broke the ice. She opened a well-organized, color-coded binder and started to unfold page after page of financial statements. Every single real estate transaction Cody forwarded to Robin's LLC. Every single dollar quietly siphoned off into shared accounts. It wasn't emotional, it was chill, calculating. Then it was Christina's turn. She hit play on video. TLC had never broadcast footage of Cody bad-mouthing Meri behind her back, labeling her business ideas a waste of time for the producers. Cameras rolled. There was no place to hide. Robin finally broke her silence, turning to Meri in a trembling voice. "You always hated me." But she didn't get to go on before Meri countered, flat, forceful, fatal. "I was cold because you cut us out," and smiled while doing it. It was the most raw, in-their-face confrontation the family had ever shown in more than a decade. Cody attempted to cut in, stumbling through a meandering justification before tearing off his mic and walking off stage. An adult male, walking away from his own truth summit. Robin trailed after him, but not that it mattered. The damage was already etched in forever on television. The season finale only turned that knife that much tighter. Robin, in her small rented apartment, packing what was left of her belongings. A knock on the door, this one, not moving men. The sheriff, holding a court order to vacate. Her knees gave way. No TLC crew to protect her. No cushion. Just an eviction notice held in her shaking hands. And while that was happening, Meri and Janelle signed documents in an attorney's office, finalizing the final chapter of this war. They weren't simply getting away with something, now they owned Brown family media royalties and Coyote Pass properties. What Robin used to help keep behind closed doors was now theirs legally. It was a victory. It was a rewriting of the entire history of the family. Robin once thought she'd be the survivor wife, that after everything was said and done, and the other marriages fell apart, she and Cody would be left in the middle, grasping the torch. And now she's lost the mansion, the finances, the limelight, and the story itself. And now she's not just on the outside looking in, she's not even in the picture. Ultimately, it was Meri and Janelle, 2 women oppressed for decades, emerging from exile stronger than ever. They didn't simply win in court. They won in the court of public opinion. They retook control of the family name, property, and heritage. And they showed something powerful. Quiet women are not weak women. Silence does not equate to surrender. And as for Cody, he's no longer the man with 4 wives and a TV empire. He's a stranger, attempting to return to a family he spent years destroying, and doing so on TLC's timeline, not his own. The control he once wielded, the adoration Robin held on to, all washed away with the signing of one pen. And the question is, did Robin deserve this? Was this justice, or just the quickest way out to sell in a family too broken to be repaired? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is Robin the villain, or just another casualty? I'm Helena, and this is Sister Wives Real News. Don't forget to like, comment, and hit that subscribe button for more unapologetically honest takes on your favorite reality TV chaos.